right, Caleb, what's up, man? All right, so we're going to start off. We're going to, so on your assessment, you did great. You didn't get any of them right, but you are on the right track. For being at the beginning, you're in a good place. So don't worry about it. We'll get all these edges rounded out, and you'll get it. You've got all of them about half right. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put these numbers in order. So we'll put them all in order. So we're going to start off we're going to find the lowest number. So lowest number right there, 1. So we're going to do that, 1. All right, then we go to the second lowest number. Looks like that's going to be 3. All right, so now we've got them in order. So now what we're going to do is we're going to find what's called the mode. Now I know on your assessment what you did was you put the mode as the highest number. And that's actually a pretty good guess, I'm not going to lie. But what we're actually going to do is we're going to look for the number that is repeated the most. So as you can see right here, there's 2 8s. There's not 2 of any other digit. So there's 2 8s. So what we're going to do is we're going to write down 8 in this little mode slot right here that we have. Okay, great. So now we have them in order. We have the mode. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to find the mean. Now what you did with the mean was you added all the numbers together, which is right. That's the first step. But you forgot one important thing, and that's to divide. So what you want to do is you want to divide by the number of digits. So we're going to count the number of, or not digits, numbers, I'm sorry. So we're going to count the number of numbers, and that's what we're going to divide it by. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so we have 7 numbers, so we're right 7 out to the side. Now let's add all these numbers together. All right, add them all up for me. Or no, actually, that's the lead part. So we're going to add all these numbers up, and what do we get? 48, right? So now we have 48 or 49, and we have 7 numbers. So what's 49 divided by 7? 7, right. So that's going to be our mean. So our mean is 7. So now lastly, what we're going to do is find the median. All right, so for the median, what we're going to do is we're looking for the middle. So what we're going to do is we're going to cross out one of the first numbers, one of the last, or the first number and the last number. Second to first, second to last. Third to first, third to last, until we find that middle number. So go ahead I'm going to go ahead and scratch off the first one, last one, second to first, second to last, third to first, third to last. And that leaves us with the fourth number in the middle, which is also 8, just like the mode was. Sometimes these can be the same. Don't think you're wrong because they're the same. There is actually a better chance because the mode is the most repeated number. So it technically has, if you're going to reach in a jar and pull out cubes with numbers on them, out of these numbers, you are most likely to pull out an 8. But don't think you're wrong. Don't think you're right. It's really not a big deal. Sometimes they can be the same, so just don't worry about that. All right, so that's how we do everything. So now we're going to do it together. So what was the first thing? Here's a new number set, number 1. New number set, and you're going to write everything down for me, right? I'm just going to kind of lead you there. So what's the first thing we're going to do, Caleb? See, I can see why you would say to find the mode, but that is actually the second thing that we do. The first thing isn't really something that we write down in the answer slot, but it's something else that we write down. Do you know what it is? No? Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to put them in order. So just like we did earlier, we're going to find the lowest number, second to lowest, third to lowest, and just keep going up until we put them all in order. Now, what I like to do sometimes when I'm doing this is to find all of the numbers that maybe start with this first digit. This one's a little weird because right now we're doing small numbers, so I can get you used to the procedure and how we go about finding this before we move on to the bigger numbers. So that's not a big deal right now. So we can maybe write down, okay, so we have 11, 14, and 16. So we can write down 3 ones. We know 3 of them are going to be ones. And then we've got 4 that are single digits. So what's the lowest one? 3, right. So write down 3. Next is what? 5, right? 7, so forth. Okay. So now that we have all those, what is the mode? It's very easy to see because they're right next to each other now. Right, 8. Okay, so we're gonna write the mode right over here. Okay, so now how do we find the, what's the next step to this? To add them all up, what's that called? Is it the mean, the median, or the mode? The mean, right, good job. Okay, so we're going to add all these numbers up. Now, one strategy that I like to use is to circle each one whenever I add them up. I want to save being able to mark them out for when I find the median, so I'll just circle them right now because it's really easy to leave out a number, especially when you're dealing with multiple numbers. Another thing is whenever you got them all set up to add, count, and then count the numbers on the number set, because forgetting one number will throw your whole answer off, and you don't want to get a wrong answer when you know what you're doing. You just made a mistake from going too fast. Okay, so right, all of them added up equals 63. All right, and we have 7 numbers. So what is 63 divided by 7? Wow, 9. Yes, that was very quick. All right, so 9. So now we're going to, so we found the mean. So what's the next step? The median, right. So we're going to find the median. Now, you remember how we found the median? Right, okay, good job. Yep, go ahead. Scratch off the first, scratch off the last. Go ahead. All right, great. So we found the median is 9. Now what we're going to do is, since you look like you got this down, I'm going to go ahead and give you one and let you work it out. All right, go ahead. All right, so looking at this, Caleb, the one thing that I can see that you did wrong was you did not put the numbers in order before you started, because you got your mode wrong. There are 2 13s, but there are 4 6s. So, or 3 6s, I'm sorry. There's 3 6s. So we have, that would actually be the mode, and the 2 14s would not. I know it's confusing. I probably should have explained that before I popped it on an assessment, but it does teach you to put them in order, because you would have seen that had you put them in order first. And I think by the time you put them in order for your median, you just kind of weren't thinking about the mode anymore. All right. So, and then what you did was, you found, where it said mean, you wrote down the median, and where it said median, you wrote down the mean. So we got to make sure we remember that. So what you need to think about is the median is what is in between the 2 sides of the road, right? It's in the middle. So always think median, middle. It even sounds like medium. Think about mediums always in the middle between low and high. So median, medium, in the middle, that's what you need to think. Mean, add it. And think about it, it's mean. You got to add and divide. You know, nobody likes to do that. It's a mean question. All right, so now we're going to move on. We're going to do a harder set. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and model this so you see how I'm doing this. Great. All right, now we're going to do it together. All right, what do we do first? Put them in order. Awesome. What do we do next? Mode. Great. What do we do next? Median. Well, okay, wait, hang on. Remember, we just talked about this. Median is when you find the number in the middle. So what you're doing right now is you started marking them out, and you said you were finding the mean, but then you started marking out numbers on both sides, and that is what we do for the median. What do we do to find the mean? Add them, right, and then divide by what? The number of numbers, right? Okay, so go ahead, do that. Now go ahead and find your median. Okay, great. All right, then here's your assessment. Great. Looks like you did almost everything right here. Nothing really too much to stress. You missed your addition up a little bit, but just make sure you really focus on that, okay? All right. Now we're going to do the last number set. It's just going to basically be a repeat of the first 2. I'm just going to model it for you first, and then we're going to do it together, and then you're going to do your own. Okay, great. You did great on all that. The one thing you did was you know what? Actually, you know what? You got them all right on this one. And so do you think you're going to be able to do this going forward? Do you think after this class and next period, if we took a test on this, you think you get them all right? Great. All right. Well, then we're ready to move on. You need anything else before we take it? If you have any questions, if you want to do another one before we take it, no problem at all. All right. I'll see you next period.